Okay. No drama. No drama. Woo. All right. So I'm gonna make this really quick because I gotta log in and do grown up people stuff. Shout out to all the people still working from home, slowly phasing themselves back into the office space. Let me turn on this light. So I wanted to make a couple of points before I get on with my day. And I want people to be conscious of a few things. And, I think that as we start having these discussions and people start opening their minds to what other people think is really going on in this country, big shout out to anybody that tried to paint me as a racist. I am far from racist. Don't play that game. But anyways, I wanted people to sort of think about something. And, I'm talking more specifically to Black America, but if you're interested in hearing this conversation, please stay checked in, replay, however you do it. But I look at people like Berry and Naomi Osaka. And the individuals, obviously, they're people that Black people are proud of. They have elevated themselves in their respective sports and their games. But then they have all this drama around their sports that really don't make a whole lot of sense. And the one thing that as a Black American I am realizing is that there are individuals who have an intent. There are individuals who have an intentions of keeping Black individuals' emotions riled up in some kind of way. And the mainstream is constantly force feeding, projecting these sagas of drama with Black people who are taking a stand. You know what I mean? But we have to realize that there are a lot of people who are paid, Black people who are paid to paint these scenarios, to paint these scenarios and keep these narratives moving along, getting into the feelings of Black Americans. So I am telling my people to hold your feelings. When you start seeing these Black people taking a stand, that's not empowerment. That's psychological, to me, that's psychological conditioning. That is what's happening with Black people right now. They are using Black people like these Naomi Osakas, who, to me, looking at her Instagram page, she don't seem like she has any mental health problems and to show up. Gwen Berry, not since she should have just protested by not wanting to be selected. But what did she do? She decided to go represent America, then turn her back on America so that Black people could see something. And we need to start recognizing that these symbols and these Marxist type behaviors that they continue to keep pushing out with our front faces, they are intended to get into Black people's emotions and make them hate this country. Because there are a lot of people who understand that if the Black men and the Black women of this country, and I'm talking Native Blacks, they understood that this country has more opportunities than any other country in this world. We are the last free world. The Black condition here is heavenly compared to some other places. And there are a lot of people that want to be here because they understand the privileges and the freedoms and the rights that we have. So when you look at all these Black front faces, and I even look at Lil Nas X getting into our young brothers' heads, trying to infiltrate their minds with those types of behaviors so that they can slowly demasculate our brothers. These are things that get into the mind and the hearts of people, and it slowly desensitizes them the more we think that it's popular among our people. A lot of our people are rejecting these things, but they don't want to put these people on the front face of the mainstream talking about how Black people are outraged about how we are being projected in the mainstream. They don't want to put us out there. They don't want to do a news story about how the Black community is outraged by how they're being projected in the mainstream as being violent whores and criminals. But the minute that the Asians feel some kind of appropriate, some other group, Jewish groups are outraged after this movie projected something that they didn't like in a good way. They real quick to jump on their image. And this is what I'm telling Black people. We need to be protective of the Black image, even from those that the mainstream want to force feed down our throats. We have to be leery of any mainstream Black individual. I don't care what side they're on and what their intentions are for our community. How are they painting the Black community? How are they narrating us? Because that matters. That matters for so many different reasons, because how the Black community is narrated, no matter which way you go, it is going to influence somebody to think about Black Americans in a certain way. So whether you pander to white folks or you pander to your people, the messaging has to make sense. And that's what people don't understand. You can deliver a truthful message, but if you go to any speech or presentation, seminar or class, they're giving you strategies on how to be effective. You know, there's a way that you say things, and then there's a way that you say things, right? And some people are like, well, some people can't deal with the hard truth. It's not the fact that some people can't deal with the hard truth. It's the fact that a lot of people would resonate with a truth better if it was coming from an organic place where the intentions of the person speaking the truth were not constantly in question. So I want Black people, and I want all Americans, really, all Americans who keep biting into this Marxist craziness. I really want you to mind your feelings, hold your feelings, because right now they are constantly projecting things that are appealing to your feelings. I didn't look at, when I woke up thinking about Gwen Berry, and I'm like, she was paid to do that. She was paid to do that. I don't think organically that girl went that far in her whatever hammer throwing to just get there and make a statement like that. I personally believe that the girl was paid to do that. I mean, I just don't really think that was organic. I think that was a moment that was intended for Black people to see, to get into our feelings, to appeal to our emotions, to help other Black people hate America, turn their back on America like that idiot did at the Olympic trials. And a lot of people ask me, you know, what do you mean by Black ops? What are Black ops? I'm not talking Call of Duty. I am not talking Call of Duty. What I am talking about is the same thing that Brother Kwame Brown has been talking about, which is the go along, get along game. I call them Black ops because they act like they for Black people or whatever, but all the while they got selfish games and they're selling the Black narrative out however they see fit to sell it out, that in a way that does not progress it. And that's what I consider to be a Black op. Black people that betray their own people. Black people who will betray their own people for the coin. Same thing with the go along, get along game, same concept. They're Black ops. They're not for us. They're the ones, the lineage that Harriet Tubman should have left behind because they are traitors. When I think of Black ops, I think about kind of, you know, even though I give the West Africans who actually participated in the transatlantic slave trade more credit than I give Native Blacks here, because They didn't have a concept of blackness in West Africa. They're tribal. We keep trying to foster this idea of blackness and black unity and black power, but we need to understand that we're tribal too. We have a class system. It's a class system. Kimberly Klasick was absolutely right. There is a class system among Black Americans. And I wish people would stop thinking that there aren't a whole bunch of millionaire Blacks running around here. And some of them made their millions pandering to the ignorance and the struggles, pains, and transgressions of their people for the coin. All the while, making sure that these conversations stay recycled in the American social contract so that at any time they can polarize people. So I tell my people, beware of the black ops. Beware of the black ops. Because not all of our people are for us. Not all of some of our people got our struggles, our pains, and our transgressions on their lips. But I don't hear a whole lot of pro-blackness going on, except for on LinkedIn. There's a lot of pro-blacks on LinkedIn that highlight black excellence as opposed to all this other crap that the mainstream want black people to see so that they can get into our emotions. Black people, we need to get a handle of our emotions. And it's not like I'm stoic. Well, I'm kind of stoic. But, I mean, I have the necessary feelings and empathy to recognize when people's emotions are being leveraged against them. And that is what all these projections to the black people are about. Like, I mean, I'm sorry. Gwen Berry was a symbol for black people's emotions to hate America, to turn their backs on America. That is the only thing that I got out of that silly freedom of speech protest that she engaged in. And look at how the Democrats are talking about it. Look at the Democrats. You know, these people have absolutely no shame. The press secretary dancing around, well, you know, President Biden, you know, he appreciates the national anthem, but, you know, here they go with this freedom of speech. Democrats are anti-American. And my thing is, you can't be this addicted to this racism rhetoric that you really want to see your whole nation just fall. And I think that's one of the things that I feel like our people need to snap out of the matrix, snap out of all these images and projections that these people keep touting at us. Step back and look at this stuff. These people are addicted to our dysphoria. These people are encouraging us to hate America. They're encouraging us to hate America. All the while they're doing nothing for black people once again, now that they got our vote. And we got to start thinking about this, man. We got to start thinking about the faces of the black community and why they are appealing to us in the way that they are appealing to us. Like, I literally woke up thinking about that girl. Like, you did nothing but show black people a symbol of how to turn your back on America, a country that has given you and your family opportunities like no other country would. What other country has a constitution like ours? First of all, like another one of my contacts mentioned to me, only in America could you do something that disrespectful to your country and not be beheaded or some other atrocity. That's how you know you in a free country. When you can go and embarrass your damn country on a national platform, international platform, and still have your head. People need to wake the fuck up for real. These people are leveraging our people to get into our feelings, give us symbols of hate. That girl was not a beacon of any stance, but some selfish, Marxist, paid stance to get into the feelings of Black people. And I want people to start recognizing this. And even these liberal whites, it's like when liberal whites, honestly, they're beta type people. They're emotionals. They're emos, right? Thanks to the colleges and universities, they have psyched their minds out to be emotional altruists with no sense of individualism. And so they're sympathy, empathy junkies who are not self-actualized. So liberal whites see Gwen Berry and it's like, she can practice it's her right to protest. It's her right to protest. Okay. You don't think that it was more logical for her to protest by declining to represent the United States of America? Makes sense. I'm about to get out of here, but I wanted to just make this point to my people. Because I feel like these people are showing us exactly what they want us to see. As I have stated in videos before, to get into our emotions, to get an emotional appeal. When you see police lynchings during political season, my auntie open seasons on niggas. Never knew what she meant by that until George Floyd, by the way. Never knew. Check out my video, open season. Because I used to hear the old Black folks when like Malice Green and Rodney King happened, they goes, it's open season on niggas. And they would say it so nonchalantly. So, I guess, Black people been dealing with this for a long time. But it wasn't until George Floyd where I really understood open season on niggas mean. And if you're offended by that word, I'm just quoting what the old folks said. So don't get in your feelings. But then when I saw George Floyd, I'm like, so around political season, they're going to hype up the lynching. They're going to keep projecting the lynchings to the Black folks. That's what open season means. So for those of you who never knew what it meant, that's what it means. Around the political cycles, 2 to 4 years, you're going to have a couple of public lynchings. And these are only intended. So before they were intended to prohibit or to sway Black people from voting, now they're using them as a way to inspire Black people to vote. So every 2 to 4 years, we're going to see public lynchings, right? So we got to start recognizing these patterns, because then it's like, you don't want to be desensitized from these things. You don't want to lobby for these things to be mitigated in the form of law. But you also don't want to just get your feelings just out of whack when you see the same damn thing repetitively. Like after I saw George Floyd, I started going back to all the police situations. And I actually did a little, and I was like, wow, this is hella close to a political cycle. What's up, my friend Sal? Yeah, I wanted to talk to, that Gwen Berry got me, man. I woke up thinking about this girl, and I'm like, that was bought. That was a Black op moment to get into Black people's emotions, to make them feel like they need to turn their backs on America. The mainstream media has been really aggressive with Black people lately, even on Facebook. And I am clearly conservative on Facebook. And Facebook will send me all this Black struggle, Black news, information network. And it's basically, this man got lynched today, this man got lynched today. And it's like, you guys are just force feeding me. Your algorithms are force feeding me what you want me to see so that I can be an angry Black woman for today. That's what it is. That is exactly what it is. These people are basically force feeding your emotions all the things that you need to see, even though when you step out of your house and in reality it's nothing like what they are projecting to you. It's like, we gotta get a handle on our emotions. We got to start understanding the patterns of information and delivered to us. You know what I mean? These cable news stations, I've been telling people this since last year. These are not journalists. When you are riddling your story, I was a journalism major. When you riddle your stories with your personal opinions, and you try to make something definitive that's not journalism. That is, I believe this, I need you to believe it, and I'm going to give an emotional appeal. Look at how hype squad Rachel Maddow and Chris Hayes are. It's like, did you take your Ritalin today? Why are you so on 10 about this story? Activists, they're activists. That's what they are. They're Democratic ops meant to grab the emotional appeal. And here's the thing. What they do is they pick people that look like your everyday liberals that, they clean up somebody that, on a normal day would just be a normal person. You know what I mean? Like, I look at Chris Hayes, he looks like Pugsley Adams, who grew up and got a news job. And I'm like, okay, on a normal day, nobody would even be checking for you. But now you got this platform, and now you got to give all your emotion, just like Brian Stelter. It's like nobody would care about these people on any other day, and they would have to be there as normal people dealing with whatever insecurities they have about themselves. But because they have a news job and it's a position of power, because you have the power of information and you're giving it to people, now you can throw all your insecurities into this story to deliver a stellar. He got jokes too. I mean, I'm just saying, it's like, it's like you put all your emotions. I feel like these people are highly insecure people who have been given a platform and power to infuse their insecurities onto society. I think if these people go home at night, they have a lot of things that they need to reconcile with therapists. And they're probably on some pharmaceutical them deal with themselves, because I can't believe that these people are going to bed sleeping well at night. I really don't. Like, these people force feed Americans lies, and they are supposed to have our trust. So I don't believe anybody that force feeds their emotions onto me while they're delivering news, because I grew up in the old school too. I'm a 90s baby. So it's like, I know how the news kind of was delivered. It wasn't this tacky. These people are tacky. And, it was so funny. After the election, they all look old to me. They all look like they aged like 10 years off of those lies. See, God don't like ugly. God do not like ugly. So stop exaggerating and cut into people's emotions. And that's why I'm trying to be as scrupulous as I can with my content, because I'm not trying to appeal to your emotions or your assumptions. I'm just going to put my statements out. If they resonate to you, they do. If they don't, they don't. Right? But don't come over here democrating. Like I said, you will get Republic. Don't play with me. I don't care if you're a conservative. The conservatives, they come over here democrating too. And I have to Republic them. Like, don't come over here with that. I already told y'all. But you all have a wonderful day. Wonderful day. Mind your feelings. Mind your emotions. Take everything that you see with a grain of salt. And what I tell people to do now is, when they're looking at a news story, listen to how it's delivered, and then understand where that person's intentions might be coming from. What is your intentions? I'm always searching for the intentions of people now, because people are grimy. People are so grimy. And I said I was going to work on my cursing, so I hope I didn't do a whole lot of it in here. This dude told me that I was hood. And first of all, for, the individuals who are getting accustomed to different flavors of Black people, this is not hood, okay? This is not hood. Anybody from the hood will vouch that this is not hood. So please understand that when you're throwing shots at me, you look silly as hell, okay? I am not hood. I wouldn't even be defined as being a hood chick, okay? Just because I have a charisma and I have a alpha flair to me does not make me hood. Okay. Now, if you really want to meet some hood broads, come meet me offline, and I will take you to the east side of Detroit and drop your ass off on Whittier and 94 and leave your ass there. And then you'll see what the hood is really like. Stop playing with me. All these little assumptions. I done got called a racist and a hood rat in 2 days with these ignorant folks that don't know other Black people or a diverse point of view of Black people. Let me tell you something. Black people got so many different flavors. They do. They do. And if you ever really kind of want to see the different flavors of Black women, look at that show Girlfriends. Look at the show Girlfriends. Okay? Because some of y'all have this idea that Black women are the same damn type of woman. And we come with our own flavors. We come with our own flavors and our own vibes. And I hate it when people generalize any type of group, really, and we really can't. We really cannot. Because I like I said, look at that show Girlfriends. It's funny because my friends always would associate with me with being the Lynn of the group, the Portia White. And I'm with that. I love Lynn. She was actually my favorite girlfriend, but I love me some Joan too because I wanted her body. Who didn't want Joan's body? Come on. But she was the lawyer. You know what I mean? So you had the Tony Childs, that was like every flavor to me, and there's still different other flavors of Black women. So please, when some of you, I'm sorry, she just got y'all white folks all twisted about Black folks. I feel so bad for y'all. Y'all so twisted. Y'all so twisted. Like I said, there's different conservative perspectives. Okay. Yes, they were all beautiful Black women, but there were different flavors. You love that show too? That was my show. Girlfriends showed a different flavor of Black women. Black women are not the same. Like, I hate it because they put these front faces in front of us. And then, people who are watching on TV, they're like thinking like all Black women are the same. They operate the same. They think the same. And I'm just like, what the hell? Okay, what's the world without an enigma or two? Because I find that my personality, my character, if there's a general idea of Black women, I do not fit that frame. I do not. I'm very eclectic. In high school, I got nominated for most eccentric. So, yeah, I think people really need to just get out of their boxes and taste the flavors of people in this damn country. We have been so polarized. That I feel like people are just not even able to just stop, smell the roses, taste the flavors. Like, when's the last time I sat down a couple of days ago and I decided that I had this really good meal and I was going to take my time and really taste the flavors and try to see what seasonings they try. It's like, just stop and see the flavors. Like, I look at white people, man, whites, Asians, any group you name, okay, any group you name in this country, you're going to have different flavors, different vibes of those people. I was recruiting for Ford Motor Company as a contractor, and I was bringing in a lot of international people. And, it was so interesting getting to know some of these international candidates or whatever, or, they were American people, but they obviously were like first generation here. And it was interesting because, I had my idea of what they'd be like, but then they come in knowing more about hip hop. This one guy, he was an Indian guy. He knew more about hip hop culture than I felt like I did. I felt kind of less Black sitting next to this Indian dude telling me how much he loved hip hop culture. And first generation Indian American. But I'm just to say that in each and every group, there's a different flavor. You know what I mean? And even when I see certain people talk about the modern woman, you know what I mean? I'm like, what is that? Like, I literally have to look it up. Like, they're talking about Instagram chicks. Like, I don't understand. Like, I mean, I don't fit maybe I'm not a modern woman. So it's like, I'm trying to figure out this definition of modern woman to some of these other people's definition, because I'm like, you guys are talking about Instagram chicks and models for the most part. Like, that's your problem. I don't like the way they try to put light-skinned Black women above darker skin. And here's the thing. And Black people want to talk about racism, like colorism isn't real up in here. Colorism is definitely real up in this community. And that's another thing that we need to address, because if we are conscious of our flaws, other people are conscious of our flaws, and they will use those things against us every single time. What's up, my friend? Colorism has been an issue. Remember the brown paper bag club? My mom used to tell me about that. I didn't even believe it, but like over the years, apparently more and more Black scholars have substantiated that the brown paper bag club existed. And I wouldn't qualify, I'm the wrong paint job, and apparently you had to be the color of a brown paper bag or lighter to get into this club. So there's a lot of, mindsets, internally within our community that I feel like we need to work out. Like anytime I remember I was in college one time, and this brother, we were just talking, cool people. And he was like, you cool. You're like, he's like, I'm not really into dark skinned girls. Now his mama is my complexion, but he has decided that he don't like dark skinned women. And I respect that. We all have our preferences. I don't get offended when people say I don't like dark skinned women. It's like, okay, your mama is dark skinned, but we're not going to go there. But that is your preference. That is your preference. I don't get offended by that. But colorism is definitely real. Where, I think that sometimes with it, even in the Black community, I don't know if it's just the mainstream media handpicking these light-skinned, almost Puerto Rican, appropriating to Black women in these videos. But it seems to me that Black men don't like mainstream. They don't really highlight their Black women as much as they do. They're darker women. Like, I like Kendrick Lamar. I felt like he did that. I think there's a lot of artists that highlight, dark Blackness. Like, the blacker the berry, the deeper the roots type of Blackness. But anyways, y'all, I got to get off of here. I got 15 minutes before I have to clock in. Shout out to all the people still working remotely. I mean, I think we're supposed to be getting back into the office. I think they said within a month. I think the people that actually got the stab, people, they're doing all kinds of stuff. I don't tell people, I don't encourage or discourage people from taking vaccines. I know what my stance is on them. And, I try to limit as many man-made drugs in my body as possible. I definitely think that there's some other alternative, more natural ways of healthcare. But that's just my opinion. Whitmore needs to go. Man, did you see my post? If you follow me on LinkedIn, James Craig, I think he's going to be running for governor of Michigan, and I'm with it. Because I like the fact that James Craig is he's a pro-gun police chief. And he, advocated when he first came in, Detroiters, residents, strap up. And, you got to appreciate a guy that will say, shit, if they're at night, they can be found there in the morning. My family, we're pro-guns in my family. And, you'll see the same sign at different people's house. If you come here at night, you will be found here in the morning. And there's a picture of a pistol. Because we don't play those games. It's like, if you running up in at 3:00 in the morning, you definitely should not be here. You definitely should not be here. And I think every American has the right to defend themselves, especially because you have some of these police districts that have a very slow response. So ain't nobody about to wait for somebody to kill them. You know what I mean? Waiting for a police to come. Like, I mean, I'm just going, you know what I mean? It's like, it's nighttime. You waking up, you disoriented already. You know what I mean? And I want them to put out more statistics about law-abiding citizens who have protected themselves or others from crime. See, they don't want to talk about that because there are more law-abiding citizens that are protecting themselves and others because yeah, you know what? I don't discriminate either. I do not discriminate. Fine is fine to me. If you're an attractive person, you're an attractive person. But I would love to see some data on law-abiding citizens. What are the numbers and what is the statistics of law-abiding citizens that actually save someone else's life or their own legally carrying? Law-abiding citizens that carry. Because like James Craig said, and I 100% agree with that, he said law-abiding citizens that are armed can have an impact on reducing violent crime. And he also said that is why Detroit did not burn last year. Because we have law-abiding citizens. Like, a lot of people talk crap about Detroit has never been here. They have never seen the progress that has gone on in Detroit. And it's like, I'm like, whatever Detroit that you knew of, I mean, there's been so much progress from midtown to downtown. It's not the same Detroit. So, but in part of that is because of James Craig and his strategies on tackling criminals, keeping them off the streets, not playing around with them. We don't have the problems in Detroit in terms of racial relations and policing that these other Democratic cities have. Detroit police chief is a conservative black man. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I said. I definitely endorse him running for governor of Michigan, because what we need right now in Michigan is not a race hustler. No, my thing is, if you are not a race hustler, you are pro-black elevation. You are trying to progress the community all the while. And I put this on LinkedIn as well. I said, I'd be for voting for James Craig. He is not a race hustler, which means that he is pro-black elevation and overall American common sense. That's what it is. He bet not say he Republican, he won't get elected. And that's the thing. Well, see, the thing is, black people don't like Republicans. And that's why I keep, like, black people do not trust Republicans. I had a conversation with an older gentleman in my general area. He's an older black man, 70-something years old. He's in the top 1%. He's a millionaire. And I'm talking a multimillionaire, black, older gentleman. He just told me, I just bought $50,000 in gold bars the other day. He was just, just chopping it up. He's a neighbor. And he is a Democrat because he refuses to go to the Republican Party. The Republicans really hasn't had a whole lot of interest in black people, even though they have helped and pushed policies that support black progress. They have never demonstrated that they have been pro getting the black community out of the clutches of the Democratic Party. They have let the Democrats slide on a lot of narratives. I mean, honestly, I'm just now hearing Republicans really go hard on defending why black people should not buy into that. And that's only because Candace Owens did help them out. See, I don't have to say bad things about the girl all the time, but she helped them out really because they needed at least somebody black to resonate to the extent where they could be heard somewhat. That's why Republicans need to mind how they treat the black people that run in a party for real and support their party. Because just like you can get black people on, you can get black people off real quick being stupid. So I hope he don't mention that that's where Trump messed up, really. Trump, I know that a lot of people are like, well, the Republican platform was the only thing that he could have did. I'm like, no, Trump could have ran as an independent. Trump could have ran as an independent. Like, honestly, I think Trump would have got more black voters if he wasn't attached to the Republican Party. You know, Republicans got to account for their lack of out. They got to account for that. And they got to account for why blacks continue to vote Democrat. And like Kim Klacik said, there'd never been one of her residents said there'd never been a Republican campaigning in my area. Shame on you, Republicans. You're never going to flip predominantly Democratic districts if you never go there. How about that? Makes sense. Trump gave them a little template also on how to fight. Yeah, let me tell you something. The Republican Party, and this is where I was starting to call out all the Republican traitors like Liz Cheney, because I'm like, you ungrateful thing. This man basically saved y'all party and up the interest of people who might not have been checking for y'all. And y'all want to sit up there and disassociate because the Democrats wanted to sit there. And I personally believe that insurrection was a protest mixed with Democratic anarchy. I don't really personally believe that January 6th was a Donald Trump supporters full thing. Like I said, I feel like the Democrats would do nothing. They knew that Trump was going to be talking. They knew he was going to have a protest. They knew they were going to be marching on the Capitol to protest it. And I'm pretty sure they had some of the ops come in and infiltrate. So, I mean, like I said, no other Trump rally or anything, and he had huge rallies and nothing popped off like that. Give me a break. Democrats are petty. They're like kids, and to me, they're becoming poor schemers. They're becoming poor schemers because they do the same damn thing over and over again. It's a basic hood rule. Gotta pack some heat. You can, you know. But the Democrats are grimy like that, and that's why the Republicans, they don't get respect because they're like, they play softball. You know what I mean? They play softball all the time. All the time. You know, it's kind of like the U.S. Army video where we got social justice warriors and Emma. We get Emma, and then the Russian and the Chinese show us human machines. Like the Chinese, like their video was like a samurai warrior. I mean, like for real, I was looking at Russia and China's, army recruitment videos, and I'm like, Emma, cartoon, human machines, guns. This is how we shoot guns. We are guns. These are our guns. Who are we more afraid of right now? Come on. What is going on in this country? I still can't get over the army recruitment videos. They got me all the way done. Why go outside without a gat? Stupid. I'm saying, here's the thing. Depending on what area you live in, and it's so funny because there are a lot more immigrants in my area. I don't know where these people came from. I just mind my business. But I'm like, wow, this time has turned into little Guatemala really quickly. Where are you all staying? Crazy. Democrats come up in here infiltrating this country but here's the thing. I'm optimistic about Hispanics. And if you're a part of the Latinx community, if I could just holler at you for a second. I need to holler at you for a second, especially if you're part of the conservative movement. I need to holler at you for a second. Y'all need to get into your people's heads like real quick and put them up on game about the Democrats. Because here's the thing. The Democrats, with this immigration thing that they're pushing, trying to flip votes, and this is why I tell black people, look, it's only 40 million of us in this country, right? Do you think that they're going to keep paying for our asses to show up and vote for them? No. They're not going to keep paying our asses to do that. What they going to do is just bring a bunch of immigrants in there so the black vote won't really matter one way or the other, because we're just going to make up that vote with the immigrants, right? And you talk about 40 million blacks, and most of those people aren't even voting age. So when you chop it down, really, maybe about 25 million blacks are eligible voters, give or take. So, if you got 25 million, just 25 million eligible black voters, and let's just chop that down even more, because most black people don't show up to vote. A lot of black people don't show up to vote. And there's no damn way that many black people showed up to vote for Biden. Black men didn't do it. Black men didn't do it. Biden did not get the black man vote. He didn't. Black men voted for Trump. Black men voted for Trump. And this is where black men are they are proven to be a lot smarter than black women. This is why black men are proven to be a lot smarter, and they are quicker to rationality, and I want to give my brothers credit, than black women. Because black men didn't give it to Biden. And yay for my brothers. They get a clap. They get a clap. Black men didn't do this. Black men did not do this. And I want people to really be clear. I don't feel like black men got Biden into office. Black women did this. Righteousness, guns owners keep the hood safe. That's a fat word up. Word 100. It's like, my thing is, you're not going to start talking about defunding the police, and then you got all this gang-riddled hip-hop that you playing in our hoods, infiltrating our young brothers with this, and then you're going to tell people to turn in your guns and we'll give you a discount. Like, see, I tried not to curse. I heard the curse word in my head. I had a George Carlin moment. I was like, nope, I'm going to keep it clean. But they out of their minds. They are out of their minds. But it is 8:30. I'm about to get out of here. Thanks for hanging with me in the morning. Please mind your emotions, guys. Understand what's being projected to you. Understand what is being projected to you. It is intentional. Gwen Berry was a symbol that was supposed to inflame black people into a Marxist feeling of America, the last free world. Understand, black people, if we let this go down any more than it has, they can't use us to destroy this country. They cannot use us. And that is what they're doing. And I think we need to start being hyper aware of that too. They're keeping us distracted with the ignorance that they want to pander to us, so that we are not realizing what is happening to us. So, have a good day. They want to buy back. Oh, how can you buy back something that they never owned? Man, the Democrats are on some real extra stuff, and I think that it's time for people to stand up, and more specifically, black women. Black women need to start listening to black men's voices more now than ever. I'm listening to the brothers. I'm listening to the brothers because I realize Biden did not have the black man vote. He did not have the black man vote. Matter of fact, Maxine Waters' funny looking self was sitting up there talking about shame on black men, because they came to a smart rationality last year that black women just didn't get the memo because we were caught in our emotions. Mind your emotions. Sometimes people are appealing to you so that they can screw you. Okay? Keep that in mind. What's up, Tiff? What's up, Sal? Big up, KD84. Sal, what's up, my friend? Did I say your name? And everyone else who checked in, thank you so much. Like, subscribe, and let's keep talking about this stuff. This is real talk. Bye.